Okay, I think we are good. I believe. Okay. Alright, now. I think. Yes, we are alive. Hello, hello, hello. We are in for day number 80, and I can already feel. Already feel what? I can already feel. Just gonna reload that page. Already feel technical issues. I can feel it in my bones that we've got technical issues on the horizon for some reason. One is that my iPad, for all intents and purposes, is not for the life of me popping up with my thing. So I want to run. I need to run some ads. So just get us just to load. Be the first one. Just because I don't want the pre-rolls, but we'll see how we go. Here we are. Is it gonna load? There we go. Come on, Mr. iPad, you can do it. You got this. I'll just get it to load literally any other page. Will it load literally any other page? No. Okay, I'll just exit out of that tab and go back into it. There we are. Anyway, sorry for the, is it gonna load this one? No, not happening. It's not doing it. That's fine. That is not a problem. I can do it from my phone. I can do it from me phone. It's probably what most people do, to be honest. But anyway, how are we all? It is a new day, and hopefully a new what? A new day of. How do I go stream manager? There we are. Back to normalcy on the stream schedule. First off, actually, first off. How do I do? And what? So we're starting back up with Naruto, gets a bit of normalcy, and then tomorrow we're going to be starting another East adventure, and then Saturday is going to be a Saturday's going to be what? Saturday's going to be a thingamabob. Saturday's going to be Cold Steel 2, that's it. And yeah, and then no, I don't want to do a rematch. Okay, I've already lost the plot completely. Already completely lost the plot. Okay, hang on. So if I just this blimmin' thing is just for the life of me not loading at all. Come on, you got this. You got this, Mr. iPad. Mr. iPad, buddy. No, you ain't got this. Okay, I'm just gonna completely close out of all this. How do I close out of... Oh my lordy. How the hell do I close out of all of these? There we are. I just want that one. Right, we'll see how we go anyway. But I'm trying, desperately trying to get rid of some ads. Desperately. And for whatever reason, this is not working. Just want to run ads. That's all I want to do. And now my phone's frozen. There we are. Okay. Right, how do I pick my... And the fact that I'm even doing marginally well by not properly paying attention to the fight is a miracle at this point in time. Oh, okay, maybe if I unplug that. I'm just going to unplug that one. And see if keeping it unplugged actually does anything. feel, because I'm trying to do my stream manager thing, I'm just getting a completely blank screen. And it will load literally any other page. Or will it? Yeah, it will. It will literally load any other page. Except the one I want. Which is lovely. As always. Right, now we've got Han. Kisame. Like I could just feel the tech issues coming. But we'll see how I go. What I might actually do. See if I can get it just on my normal phone browser, actually. Okay, so bye Mr. iPad, laters. Hello Mr. Phone. Browser on the phone. There we go. Okay, what I might actually do is, give me 2 seconds, sound's gonna cut out, and I hate doing this because the sound cuts out, is I'm just gonna run it manually from my computer. Oh my lordy, okay. Hold on 1 second. Is it gonna give me all of my options on my quick actions? Maybe. Maybe not. Possibly not. No, it's not going to give me all my actions. Oh, fabulous. Oh, this is annoying as all hell. Add. Okay, run. Okay, right, I'm running ads. Running ads. There we go. Okay. So drop that back to the game. Okay, right. That's all I wanted to do. Just wanted to run a 3-minute ad. Okay, to disable pre-rolls. And now I feel at peace. I feel more at peace. Anyway, so apologies that the first 6 minutes of this has just been me frantically trying to work out tech issues. Lovely thing to get back into. But anyway, as I have said, it is a new week. Now that we've the boys fan, or rather the boys sisters, gone back home, there's been normalcy back to the days. What the hell was that? Oh, it's my phone sock. It means I can plan to stream without having plans change at the drop of a hat. It's one thing that his family is not known for, is having consistent plans that never change, much to my chagrin. But anyway, I have with me on this fine evening a lovely bowl of zilch vanilla ice cream with a dollop of chocolate Ezio yogurt, dessert style, but it's a bit weird because it's kind of like got like a weird like stringy consistency to it, like a little bit like not creamy, so it's a bit weird but still nice, and then some frozen blueberries on top, so it's a healthy, and it's healthy because it's low fat, low sugar ice cream, a healthy-ish dessert, which is lovely. And yeah, and we're just gonna get back into things as we do. And yeah, so this week, in terms of updates, work has just been a bit of a mongrel, and completely draining the ever-living life force out of me at the moment, but I'm hoping that if I can get back into the consistent stream stuff, it should, just having some bit of certainty in my life, you know, that might be good. And also, I'm feeling like I'm approaching V4, V5 of my no V4, V3, V4 of my setup. Which is so I've been doing some artwork on the sides, so I'm making some lovely, I made it my little channel point icon, which I'm actually very proud of. I think it looks pretty good. My sub badge icons as well, and also some emotes as well. So my two emotes that I've made so far, they're still waiting approval or something, so they'll be available when they're available. And in the meantime, I'm making some other ones for all my little bits and bobs. So you shall slowly see those coming online soon. And then additionally, the V3/V4 of my setup also includes another overlay. I say overhaul, more like refinement. I think I'm just getting a balance for what information I want showing versus what I don't actually need there. And so expect that to change. Probably not. Maybe within the next month, possibly. It's just really me just getting down to it and doing it. But also, oh, that's delicious. Also part of that, is going to be a little bit of like a, not a little bit of a. One things I want to do is, like the be right back or stream ending now or starting up soon kind of thing, kind of screens. I want to do those. Because then, because of these, whatchamacallit, the whole running ad things now that I've got to worry about. At the start of streams anyway, I want like I can just turn it on 5 minutes before I usually plan on doing it. And then I could just have that screen sitting there with some, I don't know, some smooth jazz playing in the background just while I run that first set of ads. And then we can get into it. It's all those sort of little refinements that I'm wanting to do. But that will be coming, as I said, as and when I get around to it, really. Because I want to hand draw everything, so it's just really when I get the inspiration, I guess, when the inspiration strikes. But yeah. Hey, Michael Rich, what up? How are you? How are things? How is life? Saucy. Come on. Oh, come on. This is a very slow and uneventful flight. Oh, bruh, come on. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, so when I, whatchamacallit, so I'm gonna have a, stream starting soon screen, a BRB stream, or screen, sorry, should I say. I'm thinking maybe like a thanks for popping along screen, but also at the same time, I want something that's I don't know, something maybe on those screens that's like a not necessarily like interactive, I guess. Probably be the wrong. Like more like, I don't know. And it would require a fair bit of I suppose pre-work on my side of things. But like, you know, at the start on the, you know, stream starting soon screen, do I have like a little bit of a, you know, here's here's the discussion point of the day. Useless Kaguya, speak for yourself, lady. Oh, that's the other technical issue. I'm using the Xbox controller that's got the really, really janky cable. So my control's going to cut out every now and then, which is always going to slow things down even more. But anyway, yeah, like on the stream starting soon screen, have a yeah, like a today's discussion point. I don't know, strawberries or raspberries. Discuss, you know, or like, you know, and then at the or like umbrellas. What's up with them? I don't know, something. And then at the maybe at the like the ending street or ending screen, have like, I don't know, today's mental well-being tip of the day. Today's ice cream fact. The only problem is I'm going to run out of ice cream facts, which seems antithetical to me, but it's a very, very real possibility, and I wouldn't want to disappoint anyone like that. I'm like, sorry guys, I'm out of ice cream facts. We're going to have to start recycling old ones. Yeah, but just something like if I'm going to do these sorts of screens, I want something on them, or their function to be a little bit more than just, I don't know, more than just a screen that says the stream's starting soon. I don't know. Like not necessarily interactive, like a game or something, but yeah. Something with some bit of interest. So anyway, so I'm thinking of those, but then I suppose the mid thing of like the be right back. That can just be, I don't know, a cute picture or a GIF or something. Cute picture, GIF, and what? And some smooth jazz. Nothing particularly fancy. Yeah. I'm actually gonna definitely need that come. Maybe do I get that one? Might even get that one. Might get that one done before May 12th, because I've decided I'm gonna do a full day stream. Full day stream of Tears of the Kingdom. At least just one. I'll do one stream of it, but beyond that it'll be a game I play in my own time. Or maybe I play little bits here and there on stream, maybe. I'll see how I go. But it's one that I tend to play mostly on my own time. But yeah, there'll be lots of breaks. I've got to a point where it finally clicked. Okay. So you don't view it as a Naruto sequel. Okay, so like if you're going in with and keeping to that lens, you're going to be disappointed as such. But then if you kind of treat it as its own thing, I guess, you know, you try and see it independently of its predecessor, then it's good. Okay, interesting. Full day stream, yeah. So I planned it out. It's all planned. So I pre-ordered Zelda. It is going to be, I'm going to be picking it up from my, I say local, it's about technically a 20-minute drive, and it's going to be on a Friday morning around the same time school and work traffic's around. But I'm going to pick it up at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to get back, and because it's the Switch, I shouldn't need to wait for anything to download, I believe, so I can literally just get straight into it. I can literally just get straight into things, and so let's just say ballpark 10 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. Like, I am, or maybe, yeah, it'll be a long stream. 7 hours, 6-7 hours at the absolute minimum. I am just so ready for this game. Like, this game. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so as far as Boruto is concerned. Oh. Oh, right. Yeah, you're just like Boruto's like, as if you ever had to do anything like this, Dad. And then it's just like, Naruto's just there, and it's just like, kind of like behind him, just sort of flashbacks to all the struggles that they had to go through. Goodness, yeah. That sort of stuff like aggravates me, especially when it's not addressed. Especially when it's never like, I know Boruto's kind of shown how wrong he is, kind of thing. Yeah. In pre-order 2? Good. Good man. Good man. I was listening to Zeltic on YouTube. He managed to get a hands-on. He got invited to some Nintendo thing in Germany, where they had I think an hour hands-on preview with it, and he said it's just as good, as he thought, as he had hoped. It's and I'm watching a couple of other people talk about it too, and they just say, because they actually, in terms of Nintendo's quite good in terms of what they showed around the story, hardly anything around the story, and whatever they did see, they're not allowed to say what it was at all, no details about the story at all. But what these people are saying about what they've done with the new mechanics, the fuse and the ultra hand ability, they say the possibilities for what you can do with these mechanics are endless. The opportunity for creativity is unmatched. It's like what Breath of the Wild wanted to be but couldn't yet for whatever reason. It's because one of the reservations that one of them had, and I sort of had a similar one, is okay, all good, you can build boats, you can chuck some logs together and some fans, you build a boat. So then my worry was, okay, hang on, so you've got these special fan things, or rockets, or whatever, these special mechanical things. So is it going to be a case where you're wandering around, you come across a river, and then, oh, how do I get across this river? Well, there's a pile of logs and a convenient set of fans over in that corner. Why don't I just build a boat out of those? And it just feels very manufactured. It's like, oh, well, there's your puzzle solution right there in the corner. But they said that no, that's not the case at all. Apparently these machine parts rockets and fans and wheels and all this stuff, in a couple of trailers they had these weird pachinko machine things that they saw, the ball with the mini balls that you put money in and you get, and those things have all these parts in them, and you can get them and add them to your inventory. So you just got a stash of 5 rockets or 10 fan parts you can just whip out at any time. So you're like, oh, there's something that I want to attach a rocket to. Well, I'll just bring out my little rocket bubble and I've got the part right then and there. So it's not going to be that all these things are just scattered around the place, or they might be, but you'll actually be able to take them with you, and it means that you've got these sorts of things readily available which should probably address some of those misgivings, because it'll be a case, you know, when you go to a river and you got to cross it, there's not going to be a convenient pile of logs nearby. So how are you going to source, you know, how are you going to source stuff? Maybe you don't even use log, you use like something else. You know, so the creativity is like unmatched. Or at least in terms of the Zelda game. I'm sure there'll be indie games here or there and everywhere that do that sort of crafting thing better, but for a Zelda game, you know, AAA title, it will be amazing. So I am oh so very excited for Zelda. Like, I'm just glad that the previews have all come back positive, which I kind of feel that they would anyway. I don't think I've ever found anyone who's gone to a hands-on preview that came back with a particularly negative view on it. I'm sure they'll have signed some agreement. Nintendo's like, oi, we'll let you technically have a hands on the game early, but you have to give us a good review. Like, I feel like that would be the case. You wouldn't want to give something negative that feels like a, yeah. Anyway, long story short, Zelda's gonna be hype. May 12th, I'm there, full day stream, let's go. And it'll be a good test run of a full day stream, because I'll be doing at least 4 full day streams when Final Fantasy 16 comes out. Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, definitely. Fully taken days off of work. Well, I've already taken days off of work on the Thursday and Friday. And I've talked to my boss and be like, yo, is it alright if I take the Monday and Tuesday off again? She's like, yeah, whatevs. So I'm like, great. So 4 full day streams, you know. So on the Thursday when I pick it up, it'll be probably 10 till 6, and then on the Friday, Monday and Tuesday will be like, I'll be getting up as if I've gone to work. It'll be as if I've gone to work, but I'm playing games instead. I feel like when they're in awakening mode, their defense drastically reduces. Could be wrong on that. That's what it feels like anyway. Okay, Karim and Obita Zetsu. Lovely, that was delicious ice cream. Oh yeah, we've got them all. We've got every console, other than, and I say every console, I mean like all the PlayStations from, we got PS3, 4, 5, Xbox One, Series X, Switch. We've got basically console exclusivity. I don't need to worry about. But anyway, I played Fire Emblem Three Houses. I sure have. I have indeed. Oh god, what was the name? Golden Deer? Was that their name? Clyde's house. Anyway, that was my one. Because I was actually umming and ahhing about which house to pick first, like for the longest time. But yeah, Golden Deer, that's what they're called, isn't it? I'm guessing you have. I haven't played Fire Emblem Engage though. It's on my list to get, but for some reason I've just never gotten around to doing it. Oh, you've been binging it. Because when I played, I think I borrowed Fire Emblem Awakening from a mate in uni, and I was like hooked. I'm just like, god damn, what is this series? I'm absolutely rubbish at RTS games, completely. But Fire Emblem I seem to do semi-passable at. Yeah, Golden Deer, like, they're fantastic. It's almost like I didn't actually want to like do any of the other houses because I'm like, these are my OGs. Like, nothing's gonna be able to top these guys. Especially like Clyde ended up being my complete, like, he was OP as hell. I don't know what it was, whether it was just, you know, his sort of progression, level progression or class progression was just tailor-made for just being OP, but like the amount of criticals that he was getting was like unbelievable. Like I could count on him to be getting a critical when I needed him to. It was that insane how strong he was. And yeah, so he just became my like, right, if this fight's turning a bit sour, I know exactly who to call. It was mental. Because have you played the Fire Emblem Fates games? So like the Conquest and Birthright, and I think the third one, Revelation, you could only get if you got them into the bundle. If you got them in the bundle pack, which I did. Did I just play? I didn't just play as Orochimaru, have I? I'm gonna assume that I did, because I've got the memory of a goldfish again. Maybe being a teacher wouldn't be so bad. Yeah, actually. Yeah, I think Marianne was actually one that I didn't... Was it Raphael? Yeah, no, it was Marianne. She was one of those characters that I didn't use very much at the start, but then kind of by the end, I'm like, she was like one of the mainstays on my team, I think. Raphael, I think I always had on my team. So he would, I could rely on him to be a bit tankier. Yeah, but definitely Clyde. Clyde was just, oh my god, OP as hell. Yeah. Oh, it's your first Fire Emblem game. Well. You need to play the others then. Thought she's just a healer. Yeah, get it. And that's the thing, like, I noticed, and I don't know, I mean, I would like to think it's a Golden Deer thing, but I think the reason why, I'm not that I'm not a fan of RTSs, but like I say, I'm not particularly good at them. It's like the feeling you get, it's like the way that they've designed the combat, and whether it's probably me just being a bit, whatevs, but the feeling you get when you get a critical attack, like when you're on the ropes a little bit, the feeling you get is like unbelievable. you just feel so good, and you're just like, yes, like, thank you, my team. Like, you want to thank these characters personally. Yeah. But yeah, no, if you're wanting to play another if you're wanting to play other Fire Emblem games, definitely highly recommend definitely Fire Emblem Awakening. But also if you're gonna play the Fire Emblem's Fates games, because there's technically 3, but I'm not sure if the 3rd one you can actually get properly. Because it's kind of like there's technically the canon story, but like there's the Conquest and the Birthright are technically like two sides of a conflict, and you essentially you just choose which one you want to be, which side you want to be on. But if you do go, it's weird how they've done it, because the Birthright, no, order doesn't matter. It's definitely a Final Fantasy type deal. Yeah, there's like sets of games, like they might release, kind of like Pokemon, where might release 2 games at the same time, but they're technically the same story, but like just a different side of it, or small differences. Yeah, so you can drop into any Fire Emblem that you want. But yeah, if you do the Birthright and Conquest ones, I would recommend you start with Birthright, because for some reason Conquest, it's the same story, but the different side of the conflict. But there's the way that they've structured the game, there's no way to grind levels. Like, there's no break in between story chapters that you can just go and do side missions and other things and get your levels up. Like, it's literally story after story after story. If you're not, if your units are all dying, or you're not leveling them up or whatever well enough, then good luck, because you're gonna suffer at the end game. Yeah, and it's weird. But then Birthright doesn't have that problem. There's like, the way that they've structured that is you can go and grind levels in between story chapters, so it's weird. But anyway, yeah. Gerald's like, the whatchamacallit, if Gerald was in another game, another Fire Emblem game, I wouldn't know. Because I haven't played like the old Fire Emblem games, like the pre 2010 ones or something. Yeah, but as far as I know, the order doesn't matter, as far as I'm aware. One thing you will find though, is that stories are very, like, there will be twists in the story, but I've always tended to find the stories to, when you sort of just like take a step back and look, it's gonna sound like a weird phrasing, but when you sort of, when you kind of like stand back and look at a whole bunch of things with blurred eyes, like you're not focusing on anything, you're kind of taking them all in as one blurred image. The blurred images of all the Fire Emblem stories are pretty much almost the same, in the sense that there's the kind of big bad, tends to be a similar sort of type of big bad, I guess. So don't expect wondrous things like absolutely groundbreaking stories that are revolutionizing storytelling. But they're good games. Oh, and you'll have, you know, me being a girl, it was, well, I say it was a dream. The other thing that they lessened quite a fair bit in Three Houses and in Engage is the kind of like matchmaking system. Because in Awakening, there will be basically you can kind of like pair characters up in the sense that when two characters who are compatible in that sort of way, when you get to like the S rank, what's it called, S rank, it's not affection, is it? It's bond or whatever, S rank bond thing. They basically get married. So suddenly me and my mates at uni found that we were writing out a full list of all the characters and pairing them up with who we wanted them to marry, and making sure that we were getting those S ranks down so we could you'll want to do it, I suppose. Oh, actually no, you can kind of, there will be a reason why you'd want to do that, which I won't say what it is, but it's that's always fun, I guess, picking who you want your character to get with, I guess. Yeah, but they didn't do it as much in Three Houses and stuff. It kind of, I think you can sort of marry the person that you S ranked with, I think, but it's not as, I suppose you can't really do it for all the other characters, or when you do get S ranks with them, it's just that they're good friends, I guess. Yeah, whereas in Awakening they full on get married. Can date in Three is kind of creepy because it's just students. It is a bit, but part of me, well, not part of me thinks it's Japan. Would you expect any less? It'd be weird if you were like a 40-year-old teacher. I think because you're youngish, it's a smaller age gap, maybe? I don't know. But if you were playing like a 40-year-old, it'd be a bit weird. I'd give you that. One more. Lovely jubbly. Okay, then we've got Lee and da-da-da. There's the other thing. Which mode did you play it on? Because I think it's normal and hardcore, I think, are the two modes. But did you play it on the classic, the normal? I don't think it's easy mode, but yeah, the not hard one. Because I've got a good mate who he plays exclusively on the nightmare or hardcore modes or whatever it's called. He plays exclusively on those, and it's just I shudder to think what that would be like. Yeah, because on the harder difficulties, once your unit dies, once a character dies, like that's it. Bye. Laters. Have a good afterlife, you know? So if you're playing really rubbishly, you're gonna have... You reach the end of the game somehow, and you've got like no characters there with you. Everyone's dead. Whereas I'm like, I would like it that if they died, they just kind of just got incapacitated and they came back the next one. Yeah, I couldn't... I'm nowhere near good enough to be able to do any kind of min-maxing to make a hardcore run at all viable for me. That's the one. That'll be the one, yeah. Oh, beans. Oh, got him. Super close, first fight. So far the class great, yeah. Yeah, the golden deer class, I think. The other classes couldn't match it, I think, for me. And they kind of seem like... It is like... They do seem like the Hufflepuff of the... do seem the Hufflepuff of the cast, but like in the best way possible, in the sense that they're all lovely, and you just feel like, because they feel like a bit of the underdogs, I guess. Just, I don't know, they just feel better as a unit, I guess. Here we go. Yeah, because my problem with, and probably the reason why I suck at RTSs, I guess, is probably the reason why I suck at something like chess, is I'm so focused on winning, on just defeating and doing as much damage as possible, defeating the enemies as quickly as possible. I'm not like, I don't play the long game. You know, the longer a fight goes, the greater the chance that I'll lose. So I think I'm like, when it comes to, oh, do I move my character there and be able to attack, but then risk of being killed by them, or do I move into this more defensive position, but then, you know, the enemy suddenly gains a height advantage or something, I don't know, high ground advantage. I'd rather kill the unit and risk it getting killed purely because I'm just doing, because it's the, at least I've taken out one of their units. It's like, I'm just really, really bad at sort of prioritizing that sort of stuff, I guess. Yay. Random, slightly personal question? Go for it, by all means. What game has had the most impact on my life? That is a great question. I'm gonna need to think about this. Because I suppose there have been so many that have impacted me in such different ways. So yeah, I'll sort of, and I'm probably gonna just sort of do a stream of thought at this point, because otherwise I'm gonna be silent for a very long time as I think about it. So if I think about it, because there's multiple ways I'm gonna think about it. So one is, take a game like Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time was the game that got me into video games. Like, the one constant in my life has been video games, and so Ocarina of Time was that entryway, and the realization of what video games could provide in terms of entertainment. You know, playing that game as a kid and just being amazed at what you could do, and I suppose it's what started my love of Zelda games, first off. But just the fact that it's, you know, I wouldn't be here doing what I am doing right now because if it wasn't for Ocarina of Time, I don't think. Genuinely. So if you think about it that way, that would be one. That's probably say if you say just in terms of raw impact, it would probably actually be Ocarina of Time, just purely for that. But then you think of, so then if I think of other sorts of games, so I think about a game like you think of a game like Guitar Hero, which basically made me realize, oh, pop music ain't all that. I'm interested into rock and heavy metal, like Iron Maiden. I need to check these guys out, you know, and that set off my love for heavy metal music ever since, and that was from like age 13 or something. But still, then Ocarina of Time has had, I suppose, a longer lasting impact. But then you look at my favourite game ever, Dragon Quest VIII, which kind of opened my eyes to what is possible story-wise in a game, in terms of raw length, intricacy of the stories. Well, actually, I wouldn't say intricate, it's probably the wrong word. It's not a particularly deep game by any stretch, but it's, you know, oh wait, video games don't have to be 8 hours long. They can be 40 hours long. I suppose because I'd never really been exposed to like a JRPG game before that. So I suppose it was really my first exposure to like a JRPG style game. But then just sort of opening my eyes to that sort of possibility as well, and it just being my favourite game of all time anyway. So if it's Dragon Quest VIII's that, I can then look at something like Elder Scrolls, so like Oblivion. Kind of, again, open my eyes to a whole wealth of game lore in the Elder Scrolls universe, which is sort of I wouldn't say I go so far as say I'm a lore master, but I definitely know my fair share, and I'd say I've spent, besides Final Fantasy XIV, Skyrim would be probably the game I've played the most raw hours in. Yeah, so I think when you think, okay, so yeah, so I suppose with all that, because those are really the ones that sort of came to mind, I guess, is I think over everything it'd be Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time has probably been by far the most. Hey, Painted Smiles, what up? Thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. Yeah, so I'm gonna lock in my answer with Ocarina of Time as the one that's had the biggest impact. Yeah, I am now very curious as to yours, because it's a fabulous question, actually. Hey, yeah, Painted Smiles, welcome on in. I hope you're doing fabulously and your day is lovely. And yeah, welcome to the fam. Yeah, I gotta did I just play as Yagura? Or did I? I can't for the life of me remember. Again, memory of a goldfish. Okay, I'll be able to tell straight away when I do this fight whether I have. Long story rant way. I'm all for the good stories. Using Rage Obito, as in like the what's it called? The one where he's like in the white zetsu. What do you even call that? It's not mask. It's technically a part of his body at that point. Teen White Zetsu. That's the one. That's the one. Lovely. Okay, and back. Oh, come on. And there we go. Lovely. So your Ocarina of Time was Tomb Raider 1 for the PS1. Got stuck on beta for 2 years. So you have enough money to get a strategy guide. In the meantime, you introduced to Street Fighter 2. Clearly we weren't that good. I can relate. Anyone can pwn me at a Street Fighter match, I can tell you that much. Lovely.
The powerless must bow before me. The victor has been decided.
It's actually kind of neat that you managed to find people in your neighborhood that you could play against as well. That'd be definitely where I grew up. Good luck trying to find anyone who plays the same game as you, unless you're playing Call of Duty. Excuse me. Oh, come on. There we go, lovely. Because actually, Michael Rich, that's actually a question. In terms of, because am I guessing it's whatchamacallit, for Tomb Raider 1, is it a game that you'd say you often go back and like you've played it lots of different times, and I'm gonna say like 10 plus times? Is it or is it a game that is technically had the biggest impact, but compared to some other games, you actually haven't played it as often? Yeah. Also introduced to other fighting games. Fighting Fridays. The teacher called me giant fight in the house, oh goodness. Grew until soon a bunch of negative positions. Oh, that's neat. That's actually neat for Street Fighter 2. That's actually really cool. I like that story. And just the fact that you're able to, you know, that you had such like I want to say big community around, you know, or like a bunch of kids all sort of making an event out of it. I like that. I can't even think what the closest thing I had was. I think it might have been when I played like League of Legends with a couple of guys that I never hung out with normally at school, but yeah. But that ended fast because screw playing League of Legends with guys like that. But anyway, your second best your neighbour then scuffed into it. It's always the case. You're just like, God damn, I am so good. I'm probably the best in the world. And then like just 10 seconds online, you're like, well, I'm probably about 30,000th in the world at this point. But yeah. That's why I never play ranked stuff, because I'll be lucky to even like win any fight against any real person. I've honed my skills to facing a computer, not to someone else with a brain. But no, that's neat. I like that story. Street Fighter 2. I feel like it's almost like I want to like, and this is going to sound really creepy as well. I don't intend for it all to sound real creepy, but I almost want to like put together like a little notebook of like stuff like this. So like next to, you know, I can have Michael Rich's, you know, his Ocarina of Time equivalent is Street Fighter 2. It's just some like, not like, and it sounds really stalkerish when I like say it out loud, but it's not meant to be stalkerish. It's meant to be like, I don't know, just like little things that I can like just help me remember, I guess. Because it's like these sorts of things that I absolutely love hearing from people. Like sort of, I'm always so interested in the kind of like people's whys, like why they like certain things, why they don't like certain things, you know, why certain things had impacts on them. Like it's just, I don't know, it fascinates me. Like you know, I had one guy months ago, I think I was playing Spider-Man, something, and he was saying how he's super into dubstep. And so me personally, I don't particularly care for dubstep myself as a genre, but this guy was like, it was like his life. But when he was explaining to me like why he liked it, like I'm like, please, I'm really keen to know like why you like it. Just like hearing the why and the sort of the people's reasonings. It's like just everyone in on this whole planet, everyone is just interesting. Like not a single person is boring. Like not a single person that I've ever met is boring. There's always like, just everyone has these little intricacies and things that's just, I love it. Now I'll ask what a game people like that you don't really care for. Well, how long have we got now? I don't have enough paper in the house to write them all down. No, just kidding. I'd say probably the main ones. I'm gonna give 3. Fortnite. And I'm purely just going based on like pure popularity as well. Actually no, I won't use Fortnite as an example because I feel like that's almost like a meme at this point. Now, does it have to be games that I've personally played? Actually no, it will be. It's going to be a game I've personally played. I'm going to give myself that criteria. Fallout 4. But then again, I don't know if that's... Because I can't remember if Fallout 4 was generally liked or generally disliked. Maybe that... No, I think Fallout New Vegas was the one everyone loved. Just trying to think. Hang on, I'll go on my games tracker list. 1 second. Go on I've got a giant lovely spreadsheet of all of the games that I've ever played and finished. Actually no, all the games I've ever finished. And I've got more ranked as well. Where are we? Gaming tracker, and I want A to Z. Yeah, so I've got like a giant, I don't know if it's, no, it's just gonna be white screen. Oh no, there we are. You can see kind of like red things or green things. So like, yeah, all the games that I've ever played and finished all down there. Anyway, so the ones that are on the bottom of that list. Let's see. And see if any of these are like generally liked as well. Let's have a look. Uncharted. Uncharted I don't particularly care for. I think it's just, and I think that's purely because I love Tomb Raider more. Because Tomb Raider I feel was far more puzzle-y focused. Obviously they both got very, very, very similar gameplay. But I feel like Tomb Raider there was a little bit more focus on the puzzles and that sort of thing, which I love. So there's that. So I suppose Uncharted. We'll go Uncharted. We'll go Fallout 4, and we'll go... What else will we go? We'll go Last of Us, which may be a controversial opinion. I'd say that those 3 will be the 3 that I don't particularly care for the most, because I feel like Fortnite would be an easy choice. There we go. So that's my thing. And again, I will posit the same question back to you. Agree with me on one of them. Is it just I'm gonna guess the one you agree with is Fallout 4. I'll be surprised. Oh, don't worry. Trust me. If there is, I have to live with someone who actually no. I don't want to put words in his mouth and say that he doesn't like, he thinks Final Fantasy games are dumb. If he does, he never said so, but, I've been through, I'm not one to, what's the word? Say that things that I like or the things that I don't like I'm right on them. You have to agree with me or else. So don't worry. And with that as well, I'm just going to, I'm just conscious of the time, I'm just going to run another ad. Just to stop the pre-rolls. I really need a way of dealing with it properly. It's the one thing I hate about this is I have to run ads. Anyway, so you're just gonna hear the sound just cut out for a little bit. Right, I'm just gonna run a 3-min ad. And yeah, but then we'll be back. And what that actually lets me do is I can update the list, because now we're down to, we've got left 4,956. Oh, beautiful, gorgeous, amazing, lovely, fabulous. Right, now that's the Scale Chimaru and Tobirama. League of Legends. Fair. Okay. To be honest, that's a very respectable list. Even though you've got Oblivion on there. Respectable list. Yeah, I think I'll agree with you on League of Legends. I played it for quite a fair bit. I just got absolutely sick of it, and the community just... I've had the amount of comments I would get just starting a match, being like, oh, you're running on a brick or something, and I'm like, no, I'm running on my little shitty $200 laptop because I'm too broke to buy a fancy one. Soz about it. You know? Just all those little things just got to me. But anyway, Oblivion, that is fine and dandy. I will, like, the small voice in the back of my head, let's just say, every playthrough of Oblivion that I've had, I feel more and more like I'm going through the motions on it. So that's why I feel like that's respectable to have on that list. I think the first and second, third, maybe even third playthroughs of those games are the best that you'll have. Subsequent, it gets worse and worse with subsequent playthroughs. But yeah, and Last of Us, again, we're in agreement on that, and I am surprised. I am surprised it's on it, but that's cause, for your point exactly, in that it's hyped up to be, you know, it was practically Jesus in video game form, which I'm like, really? Okay. That's the bar. We've had many Jesuses before. We've had so many Jesuses with Jesus out, if that's the bar. Yeah, so... well, no, so, respectable list. I can, like, it's like... And this is gonna sound so... it's gonna sound so... What's the word? Superior? I'm gonna sound like an absolute muppet saying this. But I kind of like the deep, arrogant side of me thinks it. And tell me if it's too much. I kind of feel with The Last of Us. So I know the story. I know, you know what everyone's all thinking about. And I kind of feel like, and this is a bit, it's kind of like I feel like, oh, like, you know, people who've played Call of Duty their whole lives, they finally have seen what a good story is, and suddenly they think that it can cure cancer, whereas RPG and JRPG fans have been eating good for years, you know. It's just another myth story to us, you know, where we've had probably better in the games that we consume on a daily basis. It's like, oh, you know, no, I'm gonna not use the word normies, because I hate, like, no, that's like, I'm not gonna say that. But, you know, people who've never touched an RPG in their life suddenly can see what a good story looks like. Oh my goodness, what the hell just happened there? Oh my lordy. Is the stream still going for you guys? Because my OBS is completely frozen just now. Or at least the screen part of it's completely frozen. I hope it's still up? Okay, good. Sorry, my whole screen just went black all of a sudden, and then the window part, excuse me, but OBS just crapped out. Probably, actually. Someone's like, it's like that's in that SpongeBob episode where he's like, he like touches or licks the snail food, and then like the shockwaves like go out, and it's like it reaches like the headquarters, like what is it? It's like, I don't know, I feel a disturbance. It's kind of like that. It's like that. And then they just press some like talking shit about this button. Yeah. Yeah, so long story short, I think the hype with The Last of Us is really people who've played Call of Duty their whole lives have never come across a good story before, and when they finally get one, it's, you know, the Messiah. Okay. Hashtag still not as good as like Tales of Symphonia or something, you know. Oh dear. Anyway, I'll stop going on my rant about Last of Us. Okay, right. Now I'm just gonna, oh my goodness, cause now my Excel sheet that I'm using's gone all bloody haywire. Oh, there we go. Now it's sorted itself out. I've got to find where I am on the sheet. Here we go. Okay. Now we got Sasuke, Eternal Mangekyo, and Young Lee. Now I'm trying to think of a good question to ask in return now. Because I've asked like in the past I've asked like when me and Scythius would spar with good questions to each other. I think what I ask him, like, if you could have any game and redo it with the gameplay of another game, what would it be? So like for instance, I would redo Ocarina of Time, say, but it would be using the gameplay of Jack and Daxter or something. I don't know, as a, you know, as an example. Because I feel like there's been certain games or even just like certain franchises where you're thinking like, oh, the story would be so good, or like these little mechanics would just be like enhanced if only it was like this game's gameplay that they were using. Like, I don't know, like an open world. Like imagine like Ratchet and Clank, but rather than sort of like the singular sort of disparate maps that you just fast travel between. I say even fast travel's not really fast travel, is it? But rather than have it like fully open world, in the sense that you get in your ship and you can like literally fly off to another planet without just like picking something on a computer and it does it all for you. Kankuro and Zabuza. We have to do 3 of these, I think I worked out. So I'd want Skyrim mixed with Pokemon. I dig. I dig. Kind of like Pokemon Legends Arceus, but like a little bit more. Pokemon Legends Arceus, but more, I guess. That would be sick, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Because I've always thought about like the use, like something like a Pokeball. So I suppose the act of using a Pokeball. That sounds weird, but like I feel like that would actually be so sick if you had, you know, Skyrim sort of gameplay, and I don't know, whether you have like your Pokemon companion. Let's just say it's, I don't know, for whatever reason, rather than just standing there and directing things, or even, yeah, maybe you map the buttons to what your Pokemon end up doing. But you know, you get a Pokemon down, and then you like lob the Pokeball. You know, direct your cursor, make sure you're throwing in the right direction. You know, lob your Pokeball, and then, you know, capture Pokemon that way. It would feel like even catching Pokemon would feel amazing. You know, and then you know, if it, assuming it doesn't break out, you've then just got your little Pokeball on the floor that you can go over and then pick up. That'd be great. Oh, Michael Rich, what a fantastic answer. You've now opened my eyes to, like, I've now got like things swirling around of possibilities. Jiraiya and Yangshino. Add a whole new layer, get a best size comparison. True. Yeah, because some of them are meant to be... Wasn't there like... I remember seeing some meme somewhere. There's a Pokemon apparently that's like absolutely massive, but you never get any kind of sense for it in the games. It was like Arcanine or something. It was some Pokemon. I could be completely fabricating. Could be a dream I had that it was the case. But I just feel like the size comparison thing. Like there'll be legendaries that that will be absolutely huge. Oh, but then just like okay, I'm now thinking of like Gen 3, and imagine you're the final quest. Let's just say Pokemon's Ruby and Sapphire for all intents and purposes. Imagine going to like where Rayquaza is, and then you're walking up a path and you look up and you see it like flying around the mountain, like going to wherever you catch up to it. Like that would be incredible. Yeah, like, and as you say, like get a true size comparison because it would be huge as well. And you see the shadow of the mountains. Oh, that's actually be Right, this needs to be made. Who do we gotta pay to make this happen? Wait, no. We need a guy from Game Freak in the elevator with the guy from with Todd Howard, and then the Square Enix, go-to man for making these sorts of things happen. They're giving some little, direction and advice. Done. One elevator ride later, we got ourselves an Elder Scrolls / Pokemon gameplay mashup. Lovely. Oh my goodness, the possibilities are now endless. Oh my god! And then imagine you go in this little cute little meadow, and there's like heaps of like Badoos and everything, and like Roselia's just like walking around. Oh my goodness! And then you go to the Pokemon daycare, and then you just got all the little baby. Oh my! Yes. Yes. This needs to happen. This needs to happen. Oh, beautiful. Toby. Lovely chopply. Actually, no, I don't want that one. I want that one. And Shino. I'm now trying to think of more clever questions as well. Because now I'm on like a question train. At this point, I absolutely love these sorts of things. I'm one of those people that, and much to the boys' chagrin, I'm trying to use that word more because everyone seems to use it more. Is I, within reason, keep very private things private, but generally, if someone asks me any sort of question, more often than not, I'll be happy to answer, you know. So, but I just love question asking. It's great. Because the boy is like the complete opposite to me. Like, you ask him most things and he'll give you very like one word answers. He's a very private person, where I'm just like blah 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 blah. Hey, what else do you want to know? Do you want to know what I did last Saturday night? Do you want to know what I had for dinner this morning, dinner last week? You know, do you want to know what's on my shopping list? Like, sure. I can feel a question formulating in my mind at the moment. I just gotta let it, yeah. I've asked before what got you into Naruto. May have, but I'll if I already have, then I'll say it again. So technically, it was a weird pathway. But it started as general awareness, and then it morphed into, oh, these PlayStation games are really good. Yeah, so it was, my brother, I think he, like, when Naruto, sort of early 2000s, when he sort of started becoming a bit of more of a thing in the West, I think he found, like, one of those kids magazines, like, in New Zealand. It's like K-Zone and some other things that's just got heaps of ads for stuff that's in the kids sphere at the time. But he was talking about this thing called Naruto, and we're absolutely butchering the names as well, because Sasuke was Sasuke for a long time, but that was before I'd heard it being said. But yeah, so I'm just like, oh yeah, that looks cool. And then I think I was on the Cartoon Network website playing, like, browsing what games they had, and there was a Naruto game, and I'm like, oh, let's check this out. And it was just like a little top-down, like a on rails sort of thing where you just go up a map and then there's bandits thing, and you just you throw shuriken and then you get these little orbs, and then if you press a button, then you'll, like, depending on which character you're playing as, it's only Naruto, Sasuke, or Sakura you could choose. They'll do like a special attack or something. And I thought Sasuke's one looked really cool. I'm like, oh, he's pretty cool. And then from there, it kind of sort of simmered a little bit. I'm like, oh, that Naruto thing seemed pretty cool. And then, and because I'd also never really known or been really into anime, bar like a couple of episodes of Dragon Ball Z, and I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Also was starting to come into it. Yeah, I was a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually, so that was probably the other anime. But I remember then seeing Ultimate Ninja 2 on the PS2 at the shops, and I'm like, oh, I want to buy that. I kind of know a little bit about this Naruto thing. I just want to play it, and then having played that, sold. This is incredible. Oh my god, these attacks look great. These characters are so cool. I love the story. Like, all their ultimate jutsus are really, really cool, and it's also like I'm really like into like Japanese sort of cultural stuff, more like the sort of, I don't want to say feudal, or I'd say like feudal Japan, but it's sort of like, you know, ninja and sort of like, you know, feudal era Japanese sort of cultural things. Massively into it. It was practically like magic, and that's what started the whole train. And then would buy all the Naruto PS2 games after that. started watching the anime probably like a year late, or a couple of years late. Actually no, it would actually been quite a fair bit afterwards. I actually watched the anime for the first time, because I'd only seen episodes here and there on Cartoon Network late at night when I wasn't in bed when I should have been, and it was the tune-in exams episodes that I would watch here and there, watch them completely out of order, or missed like big chunks of it. But I'm sold. This is absolutely incredible. So it's really technically, if I think about it, a little Flash game on the Cartoon Network website and Ultimate Ninja 2 on the PS2 got me into Naruto. That's a very, very, very long way of saying all that, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's very uninteresting, very odd way, I suppose, of getting into it, but that's how it is. Blossom from there. And then I got everyone else in my school, well, I say everyone else, I got a select few of cool people into Naruto as well. So there was like 4 of us, including a guy I had a crush on at the time. There's 4 of us who were like obsessed with Naruto, so like every single day it'll be all that we talk about is Naruto. Beans. Come on. There we go. And what about you? What got you into Naruto? And also, as a secondary thing to that question, what age roughly did you get into Naruto as well? Because for me it would have been like properly, like when I properly got into Naruto, it would have been age 8, 9. Age 8 or 9, I think. Wait, how old would I have been then? 2004? Yeah, age 8 or 9 I got into Naruto. Game. Fighting, of course, yeah, Fighting Game Friday. Oh, I started on the Hidden Mystic arc. Oh, nice. And then you're just like, you're all watching it, you're just like, so what this? How have I not heard about this before? Like, what is this beautifulness? Yeah. Yeah, because I think the first episode I ever watched was when they're in the Forest of Death. And I think it was the episode after Sasuke gets the curse mark, I think. Because I was interested in like deep moody, angsty characters at that point. Because they always had cool colour schemes and cool moves. I'm like, oh, that person's my favourite character because he's got purple stuff around him and he looks cool. Yeah. Lucky to know how to pronounce the names because it's on the show. There. Yeah, I think Sasuke I called Sasuke for ages. And then I thought it was pronounced like Zaski, like with a Z sound at the start, and then I think when I played Ultimate Ninja 2, and I'm like, oh no, it's Sasuke. Because then it also, the Mystical Ninja game that we had on the N64, because there's a character in there called Sasuke, and so I'm like, oh, That must mean I've been saying that character's name wrong for like the last 5 years. Lovely. Old Ninja Kakashi was absolutely true. In like those old PS2 games, the like the way that those characters play, and in terms of like which characters are actually like objectively the best ones to play, are like weird when you compare them to Ultimate Ninja Storm. Because like, yeah, I agree, Kakashi was like mad in those early Ultimate Ninja games. Like, he was like, if you're not playing Kakashi, what are you doing? Same with Itachi as well. Oh, actually no, Itachi, maybe not. There was another character which I'm like, this is almost like too easy. It might have been Neji. Yeah, because Guy... was it Guy plays better in these ones, and Choji plays better in the other ones, definitely. Yeah, it's like certain characters, I think, like I was used to certain characters being better in Naruto fighting games, so when I jumped into Storm, I'm like, why is Tenten so unplayable? It's because I was used to her being playable. The other ones, Storm, they took its substitution spam. If those PS2 games had any form of online ranking thing, it would have you couldn't do any kind of online ranking play, and even then, all you need is someone who all you need is two people with really good chakra management, or just two good players, and like it's really one of those cases you just have to just wait and hope someone screws up and doesn't press a substitution button in time, because that's really all it would come down to. Yeah. Yeah, but no, I think why I generally sort of in my head, and I might actually go, once I've finished this fight series, once we've hit 0 fights remaining, I'm actually really seriously considering popping in those old games, just to play them as if I was doing a casual playthrough, I guess. But just to like, maybe even just do Ultimate Ninja 2. I'll do an Ultimate Ninja 2 and I'll do an Ultimate Ninja 5. It's 5 at the most, at the biggest cast. But just to play those old games again, and just sort of compare after I've done so many Storm ones. Because I think when I think about it, I just loved the Ultimate Jutsu so much. Like, I just love how they did the Ultimate Jutsus. Like, I love the creativity, I suppose, that they had. And I think, and that's also partly why I fell in love with Naruto as much as I did, is because I've always been a sucker for really cool looking moves and flashy action sequences, I guess. And like, even though it's not magic, I've always been a sucker for like magic looking things. So, jutsus, for all intents and purposes, are kind of magic in a way. And I'm just like, these just look so cool. And that's also why I kind of fell in love with it as well. And then me and one friend in particular anyway, downloading and printing off the sheet of list of jutsu and all of their hand signs, and then go around to my house for like a sleepover and just jumping on the trampoline and practicing all the hand signs and stuff. God, I was a nerd. I'm sure my parents were disappointed in me, but I loved it. You did as well? Great, it's not just me there. I've memorized definitely off by heart the Fireball Jutsu. I've memorized that, and I've memorized the twin Black Dragon Blizzard, which is in the Clash in the Land of Snow movie. Oh god, I can't for the life of me think of what his name is. But the whatchamacallit, the dude, the villain dude, he does, I think in the final fight with him, he does like this double Black Dragon Blizzard move. Memorize the hand signs for those. I think, yeah, those are the two main ones anyway. And then me being really nerdy, actually no, probably not nerdy, being really sad and weird, and like practicing my Hyuga style gentle fist in the privacy of my bedroom, in the sense of trying to practicing how Neji does his 8 Trocom 64 palms, like how he does like that sort of where he does like the lean back and then like swings his foot around and then does like the 2 palms there, practicing that, because if someone ever tried to mug me, no escaping the gentle fist. I need to learn how to defend myself. So yeah, I was doing all of that as well. And then even to the extent as well, when I'll be playing the games on the PS2, and when you're doing the ultimate jutsu, like I'd be sitting there, I'd put the controller down, and I'd be sitting there like emulating all their moves as they're doing it as well. I had the whole thing memorized. Oh my goodness, there we are. Yeah, it was just I was a little bit obsessed, like just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Your plans to
Great, and then we got Sasuke Orochimaru and Hida. Blank could be. It's always whole blank could be blank battles. Oh, nice. Back then I was a huge Sasuke. I mean, if Sasuke became real, I would hunt him down and force him to marry me, like I was as a young, impressionable teenage girl. I loved Sasuke. Now I'm like, you went off the rails a bit, so I'll like Itachi instead. But yeah, no, I would. It was funny. Whenever I'd have friends around for a sleepover, I'd always pop on Naruto. I'm like, sorry, we're playing PlayStation, we're playing Naruto, and so I'd be like educating all my friends against their will. I'd be explaining to them all the ins and outs of Naruto, and then they're like, oh, is that Neji person? Is he blind or something? And I'm like, he ain't blind. He got the Byakugan, and then I'll give them the full rundown. I can just see, even though their eyes might have been glazing over, don't care. I'm exposing you to the thing that you should love just as I love it. You must like it, but yeah. explain for you because it's you can have any jutsu. I was literally just about to ask you the same thing. I was literally about to say like if you could like master any one of the five, you know, the five main styles, which would it be? Now, do we need to be set some sort of boundary to it? Does it include like literally anything? So like, I don't know, Amaterasu or Tsukuyomi count as a jutsu? Like, are we just like, or are we thinking like purely just like, you know, fire release, water release, those sorts of ones? Because if we're encompassing like all types of jutsu, including like Kekkei Genkai as well, then that makes the question a lot trickier. Because I always toss up between, do I want to pick the one that's like just either looks the coolest or does the hashtag the most damage, or do I want something that's a bit more practical, something I could just use in everyday things, or something that I can make pretty things with? Because I was thinking like so I'm not sure, because I think you guys would have watched it as part of your rewatch of Naruto, is in the side story with them trying to stop Three Tails from being captured. They had that chick Guren, who had the crystal. She could do like the cool crystal stuff. I would love that. That would be fab. I can make pretty cool crystal flowers whenever I wanted to. We are including ocular jutsu. Excluding Tailbeast and Infinite Tsukuyomi, okay. Because like my first thought is, oh well, hands down it have to be the Sharingan. But then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, but outside of fighting someone, how useful is it actually? Would it be useful? I suppose actually I can copy what people do, I guess. Actually no, yeah, I can copy people. I'll say for me, it's gonna be a tie, but I can't decide between, I just can't decide between the Sharingan, not even necessarily the Mangekyo Sharingan either, just the basic 3 Tomoe, Sharingan. And probably, yeah, like the crystal release. I don't actually know if it's got a, just double check if it's actually got a proper name to it. Because that feels a little bit more practical, because then I can, I don't know, make some pretty decorations for the house, or you know, if I need to like stab something, you know, if I need to, you know, poke something with a stick or whatever, I could just create a cool crystal stick and do it. I can get cool crystal decorations in my garden. Yeah, I just feel it'd be more practical for the homely things. Gamble with the Sharingan, you're gonna make... Ooh. Ooh. You're right about that one. I was going to say, would the Byakugan help you as well? But I'm like, no, because it's... Unless they're beside you or behind you. Yeah, unless they're really behind you, you wouldn't actually get much. Oh. Yeah, you can't see around, like... So I was just thinking with the Byakugan would be great because you can see everyone's poker hands. I'm like, no, you couldn't because it's vision out. You can't, like, look back in. Yeah, so Byakugan wouldn't actually help. Yeah.
Battle begins.
And I mean, technically, so this is like I'm sort of trying to maybe extend the Sharingan's ability range beyond what it's really how it works. But I don't know if you'd ever seen a show back in the day called Heroes, where it was like, you know, people with superpowers, I guess. But like an American show back in sort of mid to late 2000s. Absolutely loved it. But there was sort of in like one of the, I want to say like midway through its run. Oh, you have seen Heroes? Oh, fabulous. So there was not like the first season. Was it the second or the third? There was basically a whatchamacallit. There was a chick who her whole thing was that she could copy people, and I think like she. Oh god, what was it? Now all the names are coming back to it as well. Claire's dad, whoever he worked for, they were gonna like kidnap her or something, but then they ended up letting her live with her mum or whatever, and they gave her like a iPod thing loaded with the videos of like everything, like random stuff, people doing DIY, dances, whatever, so then she can just watch it and be able to perfectly emulate all of those. Like I'm thinking like, does the Sharingan do that? Possibly as well. Like, does it let you perfectly emulate something? Or is it purely just... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But no, I'm glad you've seen Heroes, because, my lord, that is back in the day. All I remember me and a mate from school. Because was his name Peter? The sort of the main dude in it. Wasn't his power, technically his power was to copy everyone, like other people's powers. Like as soon as he sees something, or when he sees the power being used, he now has it, or something like that. Where, so like if he, or maybe when he touches, he was able to do something, but basically, you know, Claire's healing power, he did something, whether he touched her or he just looked at her or something. He was then able, he now has healing powers. And I remember, me and my mate, I think maybe by the end of like season 3 or something like that, we ended up writing a list of every power that he must now have. Like just based on what had happened to him. And it was something ridiculous, like 27 powers he had. Like he had ice powers, super strength, super speed, the healing, fireballs, telekinesis, flying. He had like everything. It was crazy. Yeah, that show was actually so good. Season 1 and 2, season 1 specifically, was fantastic. And then just as it went on, it just slowly went off the rails. But yeah, it was actually so, oh my god, it's like, and I can remember so much of it as well, because then they had a hero who was, you know, had the time traveler. You had Claire, who had the healing stuff. You had Peter, who copy powers. You had Sylar, who was the bad dude, and he had telekinesis. Then what was her name? Was it Nikki? Or was it the actress's name? The chick who had like the evil twin in the mirrors or something. Or like the evil version of her who with super strength. There was that. Oh my lord. Oh my goodness. And then there was like the dad. Then they had the chick played by Kirsten Bell who had this electricity powers. And then was it Peter's brother could fly? And oh my lord. Oh my lord. And then because I remember there was this one particular episode, and I can't remember what season it was. I want to say season 2 or 3. There was a particular episode where I think it was meant to be like an alternate universe or something. Can't really remember the plot of it properly. But I just remember like the Peter dude, he was kind of like an edgier version of himself with like a scar on his face, because you know you can't have edgy without scars on your face. And I just remember this particular episode, like it was just really cool. It was just like had cool fight stuff in it. Yeah. Yeah. And to add, if you do get a Sharingan, you get your own little pocket dimension. True. And, oh my goodness, and now that I think about it, again I'm going to be adding a bit more probably functionality onto it, or different uses for it than it's probably intended. But the thing about the Tsukuyomi, just like the base Tsukuyomi one, it's just a genjutsu, but even using it doesn't necessarily dictate what you experience inside. Like it's completely up to the genjutsu user what you're experiencing in that Tsukuyomi in those 3 seconds or 72 hours, which is what you feel like it is. So could it have practical uses in the sense, and this is probably, I'm probably stretching it way beyond what it needs to be. Probably even how a genjutsu functions. Could you put yourself in a Tsukuyomi and like sleep? So even though it feels, even though 3 seconds have passed, it feels like you've had the sleep time and restoration time of 72 hours. 3 days. Like does it work like that? 'Cause obviously physically you haven't got 3 days worth of rest, but you perceive that you have, and maybe your body acts like it has. So then you're like, oh, I need 3 days to work out a dilemma at work. Chuck myself in the Tsukuyomi and I've now got 3 days, what feels like 3 days worth of time to plan it out. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit bending the rules a bit too much, but yeah, I think the Sharingan would actually probably be the winner, I must say. Just with the range of what you can do, I think. You've got the copy jutsu ability. You've got the ability to like, see in the future ish. Or not see. You're not seeing in the future. You're being able to read muscle movements to be able to predict if someone's going to move. You've got the Kamui. You've got the Tsukuyomi. You've got the Amaterasu. You've got Susanoo. You've got all of these sorts of things that the Sharingan comes with. Alright, so just looking at my list, think these two will be the last two fights I've got. Oh, of course, Sharingan. Oh, sorry, not Sharingan. Shadow clones. My god, imagine like you've got 100 shadow clones all doing the same maths homework. You're going to be so intelligent. Learning languages. You just have 100 shadow clones all learning like different parts of a language. And you now have learnt, like, you've now had 100 hours worth of language learning in 1 hour. Needs like an extra set of hands, but there's no one around. Ugh, shadow clone. Oh my god. Okay, now I need to seriously think about which would I rather. Because actually shadow clones is probably, if I'm thinking about raw utility, shadow clones may actually be the winner on that one. Need to do the gardening, but you've got so much weeding and gardening to do. Shadow clones. Oh! Need to quickly de-ice your car in the, you know, quickly de-ice your car in the morning because you're late to work. Shadow clones. Oh my lord. Oh my god. I think that actually... the more I think about that... Yeah, you could read a book in one day. Like work would just be easier. Like if it's a particular type of job where you know, we need to study things. Shadow clones. Duh. And hey, Skull Pollen, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing fabulously. Oh my god, okay, I think I'm actually, the more I think about this, the utility is just unbelievable. Oh my goodness. Oh hey, and then for me, who like, I hate saying no to people when they ask me to do small jobs, they're like, oh, can you please come help me on Saturday, I don't know, I'm moving house and I need you to help load some things up in the truck. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, beans, but I'm going out for lunch with the boy. Shadow clones. Yes, my good friend, I can help you move that, move the stuff in the thing. Oh, and my mate over there needs me to help with the weeding. Yes. Like, yes. It works. It works. Oh my lordy, it works. If you do either Tensei, you can meet famous... That is true as well. Never meet your heroes, they'll be like... It's like, I don't know, Alexander the Great or something, and he's just like, doesn't care about you at all. He's just absolutely just like, what the hell's going on? Like, where am I? What is this stuff? Actually, no. Yeah, that would actually be quite unethical. I was also thinking, shadow clones are also unethical as well. Imagine the games that you could play with security staff, having multiple of you. Like, they're like, oh, we saw you sneaking around the back of this building and stealing stuff. I was like, well, officer, that can't be me. Check your security camera. I was right at the front of the shop. Checks the security camera. You were at the front of the shop. Oh my goodness. But then he checks the security camera at the back and you're also at the back at the same time. So, and then you're just like, well, I don't know what's wrong, because officer, clearly your security cameras are weird, because I can't be in 2, let alone 3 places at once. And then you can get away with stealing stuff. Oh, possibilities. Possibilities endless. Okay, I'm officially changing my answer to shadow clones. That is actually... The more I think about it, the better it gets. like for me at the moment, being absolutely swamped in work, but also having the beauty of most of your work as like an online thing, I can have like 5, 10 laptops all set up, all logged into different clients' sites and things that I need to do work on. I'm doing them all at the same time. God, my productivity output would be unlike anything seen before. And then I wouldn't feel so swamped at work. Done. Done. Alright. Okay, I'm feeling saucy, so we're gonna do 2 more fights. Cause why not? We're gonna do Konohamaru and Hanzo. Can you get ready when you can just jutsu into the best version of yourself? Fair. Fair, fair. True. True, yeah, because even with that as well, you'd be able to choose your clothes and how your hair's all did. You'd be able to like, it'd be kind of like shape-shifting, but not quite, in a sense. Yeah, it'd be like a little bit like shape-shifting-ish, in which you can choose, I guess, what you look like, I guess, or does with a sexy jutsu, does the universe decide what the best version of you looks like, or do you have some control over that? Alrighty, ho. Ho, 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 ho. Okay. So that is... So with that, we get brought down to 5,914 fights. Alright. And I think with that, I shall call it a day. And... yeah, because we've actually, we did 86 fights today, which is great. We're about 55.5% of the way through the overallness. So we're getting there. I'm still going to see if I can try and get us to finish in October, November. Ideally sooner, but we'll see. But no, I'll leave it there. I'm going to... because the last couple of weeks have just been all over the place in terms of when I've been streaming, I'm going to try and get us back on track, back to normalcy. So tomorrow is going to be starting up East 6. I've only got 2 more East games to go. So East 6, and then Saturday is going to be Cold Steel 2, and then Sunday morning? Yeah, Sunday morning will be day 81. And then keep it going from there. Alright, but no, thank you all so much. Thank you, Michael Ridge, for the conversations. I love the questions. What I need to do is I need to like do some research and just have a list of questions to ask, because I absolutely love it. I love it when we do all that sort of thing. I want to keep it interesting. But no, thank you so much. Stay fabulous. Stay fresh, stay fruity, stay you, stay hydrated, stay well, stay rested, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.